So we are looking at Kanyadaan. This is the first lecture that we are looking at Kanyadaan, and this is the, please take a good look. This is the play that we'll be discussing. Of course, I'll be discussing from this edition and also from the edition that I send you as a PDF. And this book is written, the play is actually originally written in Marathi, okay, in the Marathi language. And this particular edition has been translated by none other than Gauri Ramanarayanan. Anybody knows about Gauri Ramanarayanan? Please check who she is, and you will see, you know, that in fact, a lot of information has been given in this book itself. And she's a Chennai Vasi, and she has translated this play from Marathi into English. So let us begin the play, right? Let's start with the story. The story begins in a middle class flat. Actually, we are not the city is not mentioned, but it is very clear that it's Pune. Okay, the city is not mentioned openly. Act 1, Scene 1 begins in a middle class. Yeah, it is not very clear, but still, you know, from the dialogue, it is very clear. It's mentioned that, you know, this person, I mean, the family is settled in Pune. So let's begin. In a middle class flat, and we find a particular gentleman who is around 60 years old. His name is Nath Devlalikar. He's 60 years old. Okay, and he, along with him, he has a. It's very obvious that he has a son and a daughter. Okay, so let me introduce them to you. The son is Nath Devlalikar. Okay, he is 60 years old. Please concentrate. I'll give you an overview of this, and then you'll understand it much better. He's 60 years of age, and he has a son and a daughter. The son is Jayaprakash, who is 23 years old, and the daughter is Jyoti. Jayaprakash. This is the age, okay? So then we have Jyoti, Jyoti, who is 20 years old. And she is actually, see, just like any father-daughter relationship, the daughter is close to the father is close to the daughter. No, nalla irukum. So what happens is, she is doing the secretarial work for her father. And it is clear that Nath is a very busy public figure. By public figure, we mean a person either involved in politics or in cinema or in other places where he or she has constantly meets the public. Okay, that's what we mean by a public figure. Here we know that he's a politician. Nath is a politician. Okay, Nath is okay. And let me also mention that they are in Pune. We'll come to that. Okay, so Nath is a politician. Jyoti is almost like a secretary to Nath. Okay, and Jayaprakash, surprisingly, his let me tell you this, and I can reveal this to you right at the beginning of the play. There is not much dialogue given to him till a particular point in the play. Jayaprakash is like a silent observer. Okay, so when Jayaprakash is introduced, when you look at the stage, you will see Nath is getting ready. So let me start with what is happening. It's morning, and Nath is getting ready. You know, he has to catch a bus sometime around 12:30 or 1 o'clock. Okay, and so Nath is getting ready. Jyoti is helping him get ready, you know, getting ready for the travel and all that. He says, get me a towel, get me this, get me all that is necessary for you know, travel. He has to catch a bus. Okay. And it is very clear that he'll be away for some 2 or 3 days. All right. So actually, the entire thing starts with catching a bus. He wants to know whether the bus is on time or not, whether that bus is running or not. Okay. So what he does is, he goes and he has, surprisingly, he has a telephone, which was not common. Remember, students, landlines became common only after the 90s. So Nath tries to find out, okay, by calling the bus company, by calling the service center, or by calling them to find out if the bus is running. Okay, so Nath, he wants to call the bus company. He is trying to call the bus company to find out if the bus is running. He doesn't get a proper answer, so he is frustrated. Jyoti is doing all the secretary's work for the secretarial work for Nath, like like what usually what daughters do. You help your father, get ready and all that. And he is frustrated because they are not giving a proper answer. The mom is trying to call the bus company to find out if it is going to, whether the bus service is running. He wants to get information, and he is frustrated because the information is not coming properly. So he says, what sort of a country have we created? Okay. He immediately makes a statement on the nation. Okay, state of the nation. He says, when we were fighting for freedom, we thought that we were fighting for a great country, and look at such a small information we are not able to get. Of course, with the coming of technology, things are far better now. But, so he talks about how they fought in the pre-independence era, and how they wanted to create a nation which was good. But look at it now. He's frustrated with the apathy. To be very precise, I'm going to use this term. What is apathy? He doesn't like he doesn't like the lack of information that is there. He gives a small a statement about what the nation is, and it is very clear that I'll tell you the timeline. The time at which we are talking here, we are in the early or late 70s. Okay, so where are we? We are talking about this particular play takes place in 1970s, Pune. Okay, he is a politician and he is traveling somewhere, and he's getting his things ready. Now, as he gets his things ready, he reminds his daughter that, look, I need a towel, I need the flask, the bottle where I keep my lemon juice, and all that, ordinary mundane things. So Nath has a son and a daughter, Jyoti and Jayaprakash. Jyoti is helping Nath get ready. Okay. Okay. Get ready to catch a bus. Okay. This is what is happening. So, and what is Jayaprakash doing? Jayaprakash is busy repairing some electrical appliance. There is not much of a dialogue that is given. Okay. So then, he doesn't stop there. There is a long, there are some great leaders that he quotes. He quotes Vinoba Bhave. Vinoba Bhave was a Gandhian. When you read the play, you will understand this. So there is, as he talks about the state of the nation. You understand this? There's a long speech on this. You understand this thing, state of the nation? Which means we are in not a very good state. We are not in a very good position. Okay? The state of the nation is not very good. This is Nath's opinion, and he keeps on saying this. Okay? So he reminds Jyoti of packing everything. Jyoti does that, and then Jyoti says something which is going to be a defining moment in the play. She says, Dad, I would like to talk to both you and mom together for just 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so let us write that here so that you are clear, because that defines the play. So Jyoti, and it is obvious that she's going to announce something which is going to, shock the parents a bit. Okay, so Nath Devlalikar is married to a person called Seva. Okay, Nath, I'll just write it here. So, are you clear? Will be husband, yaar, wife, yaar na clear kingla. Nath is the husband, Seva is the wife, and they have two children, Jyoti and Jayaprakash. Now, where is Seva? So the obvious question is, where is Seva? Okay. So the answer comes, she is now in a place called Ahmednagar. She is also involved in social service. She is also a public figure. Okay. So Seva is mentioned here. She has gone out. She is coming back. Dear students, are you clear till here? We are looking at the story of a family where the father and the mother are both involved in public service. Nath is a politician. Seva is also involved in public service, in social service. They have 2 children. Jyoti is the daughter, the younger one, 20 years old. Jayaprakash is the son, 23 years old. Jayaprakash acts as a silent witness in Act I, Scene 1. Then, we'll go and see how he also has, has his opinion about what is happening in the family. Jyoti says, I want to talk to both you and mom. She tells Nath, I want to talk to both you and mom. And it's a very important thing that I want to talk about. I just need 15 minutes. So, who is Seva? She's coming back from Ahmednagar. Okay. So, and she is expected sometime now. Okay. Now it happens so that both Nath and when Nath is about to leave, let me cut a long story short. Okay. Jyoti wants to talk to both the mom and dad. So to both Nath and Seva. Now, what happens here is the point. Nath says that he has not been able to see his wife for the past 15 days because he is busy with his work, she is busy with her work. So Nath and Seva, they are not together at home. Okay. But fortunately, Seva comes and Nath is about to leave. Jyoti is able to get some 10 minutes with them. And look at what she declares. Okay. So Seva comes. She is in social service. Okay. So they talk about, sir, sir, very simple, sir. You could have simply said, Nath and Seva have two children, Jyoti and Jayaprakash. Jyoti wants to talk to Nath and Seva. They talk. No. What happens in between? See, Nath keeps on talking about the state of the nation. Seva talks about her work. Okay. And then they talk about how they met. What is actually happening here is Nath and Seva are talking about their respective work. They are talking about their work. Okay. And not giving time to Jyoti to talk. In fact, what happens is Nath and Seva, they are talking about how they met. There is actually a talk about how Nath and Seva met. How Nath and Seva met. Nath and Seva met. Actually, Seva expected Nath to become a minister. The expectation was, okay, in expectation that he would become a minister. Okay, but then he is an MLA, and from the mention of the party, it is very clear that we are in 1970s. They mention a party. In fact, I can mention that party here, the Janta Party. Nath is actually serving as an MLA. Okay, this is what I have. I have I'm an MLA now, but he should have become a minister. That is what I was expecting. And then Jyoti declares. Jyoti talks to them. And she declares that she is going to, she has decided to get married. Okay. Jyoti declares, okay, that very hesitatingly that she has decided to get married. Okay. Now, the reaction of both the mother and father has to be noted. Nath takes it, Nath congratulates her. Okay. But Seva is very apprehensive. Okay. Apprehensive na puriyarda? You understand this? Seva is very apprehensive. She says, who is the boy? So she wants more details about the boy. Okay. So Nath congratulates her. He's okay. And he reminds her. Seva kodane kovam varudhu. Seva is annoyed. Why do you congratulate her? This, that. Immediately, Nath reminds Seva that Jyoti is a major. And here, look at very closely at the reactions of the father and the mother. Nath congratulates her. He is okay. He is fine about it. And he wants to know more. Seva also wants to know more, but she has her doubts. She is apprehensive. Jyoti declares that she is going to get married, but there is a person in her life. There is a man in her life. His name is Arun Athavale. That will be revealed a bit later. But the point is the reaction of the father and mother. Let's look at that. Not reaction is positive. Okay. And what he does is he reminds Seva that, look, no matter what happens, Jyoti is a major. She's crossed 18 years old, so she has the right to make decisions for herself. Abdina Nath reminds Seva. Seva is not very positive. Okay? And what he does, Seva is skeptical. You understand this term? What is skepticism? Doubt. I mean, having doubts of her own. So she says, now immediately, when such an announcement is made, when Jyoti is announcing, or if any girl is announcing that, that I have a man in my life, we have fallen in love, and we are going to get married, what will be the next question? Seva, like a typical mother, Seva wants to get more information about the boy. Okay. So now we are revealed all this. Immediately she needs more information about the boy. Actually, I told you that Jayaprakash is not very, Jayaprakash does not have many dialogues. He comes in with the tea tray. Seva has come back from Ahmednagar. She is coming from some place. And what has happened is, Jayaprakash comes with the tea tray. He is wondering what is going on. And immediately, more information is sought about the boy. Okay. So then it is revealed that, okay, let me give the information right now. The information is this. The boy's name is Arun. Okay. You can note down. Okay. His full name is Arun Athavale. Okay. And how did they meet? The first question is payyan per enna. Okay. His name is Arun. His full name is Arun Athavale. It's a typical Maharashtrian surname. And what happens is he is doing his BA in Pune. And how did they meet? Immediately there will be a question. How did they meet? They met Arun and Jyoti when they were part of a socialist study group. Now again, this comes in. Let us not forget that Nath believes in socialism. Okay? How did they meet? They met in the socialist study group. How long have they been meeting? And he is working part-time as a journalist in a newspaper. Okay, he's working as a journalist in a newspaper called Shramik Samachar. Even the title of the newspaper is socialist in nature. Now, what is socialism? What is that? We'll discuss that later. Okay, he's working in a newspaper called Shramik Samachar. Okay, and Arun is the second child of 7 children. Their family has got 7 children, and Arun is the second child. Okay. Through this conversation, Seva is not happy about her skepticism continues. Seva, skeptical means being doubtful about something. So he's doing his BA in Pune. Arun and Jyoti met in the socialist study group, and they have been meeting each other for nearly 2 months. That is, it's only an acquaintance. To be very frank with you, it's like they are. They are familiar with each other. So immediately they ask, how did you get impressed by this? What happened? Why should you decide on marriage right now? Okay. So subjecting to, they are familiar with each other. Dear students, Jyoti and Arun are familiar with each other. That is it. Nath says, don't make any negative comments about his background or about his community. And then the conversation continues. Okay. In fact, what Nath is saying is, Nath appreciates Jyoti for her maturity. Okay. Nath appreciates Jyoti for her maturity. He says, okay, good. I like it because that is the kind of atmosphere that he wants at home. He believes in socialism. He believes in democracy. And he wants his house to be democratic. So that is Nath's outlook. Okay. Now, look at Seva. Now, Seva and Jyoti, they continue speaking about, Seva keeps probing. Further inquiry. So she inquires further, and then he asks, what about his character? You tell me about, you have told about Arun, he's doing his BA, he's working as a part-time journalist, this, that. What about his character? So, no bad experience with Arun. Okay. Now the bad experiences will begin after the wedding. Okay. That we will be anyway discussing that. So, and then she says, immediately Seva asks, these are typical mother's questions. Can you trust Arun? That is her question. Do you find him trustworthy? If he is trustworthy. Who? If Arun is trustworthy, she says, and Jyoti replies, either Nath for everything, Nath is also objecting to it. Nath is saying, no, you are asking too many questions. Is it tappu? Okay. Idella solli, rumba periya, or you are asking too many questions too early. Idu marla kekk kodadhu na solraru. And so she asks, can he be trusted? Seva asks Jyoti if Arun can be trusted. Okay. And then Jyoti reveals certain, I mean, we said 2 or 3 more things are revealed. One is that Arun also has the habit of writing poetry, and he is writing his autobiography. Okay. Tannoda சுயசரித்திரத்தை எழுதிட்டு இருக்காரு. இதுவும் ரெண்டு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் அவர் கொடுக்குறாரு. ஓகே. அண்ட் so in fact, based on the poems and on his autobiography, அவரோட எழுத்து திறனால, அவரோட writing capacity நால தான் Jyoti started liking him. Okay. He says that she is impressed by Arun's poetry and by his autobiography. He is very sincere in writing his life story. See, Nath is asking Seva, look, you are asking so many questions from Jyoti. How were we before marriage? So Nath is asking Seva, why so many questions? Okay. Why do you ask so many questions? Were you so skeptical before our marriage? So Seva says, actually, Seva revealed something about Nath. She says, I was observing you. Seva observed Nath before their marriage. Okay. Before their marriage. So, நான் பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தேன், நான் observe பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். It is not that I made an impulsive decision to marry you. Seva marrying Nath was not impulsive. She says that. And she is trying to say, she is very clear, I want Jyoti to make a good decision and not just accept Arun at face value. Now, and then she says something which is very appropriate as a mother. She says that, look, you have met Arun and you have met him only for 2 months. Okay. You have met Arun and you know him only for 2 months. What she advises or what she feels is, you should wait for at least 2, 3 or 4 years. That Jyoti, Seva advises Jyoti that she should wait for 2, 3 or 4 years before taking a decision to tie the knot. That is what she says. Look, Jyoti, you have met Arun only for 2 months. Why don't you wait for some 2, 3, 4 years? That's precisely what she says. 2-3 வருஷம் wait பண்ணி பாரு. 4 years. And then consider marrying him. Immediately, Nath dismisses that idea. Nath calls it nonsense. Okay? He says, don't. Once you have decided, well. So, Jayaprakash is also making a comment about this. But the understanding is that when you tie the knot, when you marry, it is going to be a marriage for, sorry, it is going to be a relationship for a lifetime. Okay? So, just on a lighter note, what happens is, they are talking about someone falling in love. Okay? So, here Jyoti has fallen in love with Arun. She is impressed by Arun. And that is why, so immediately he says, so when you fall in love, what happens? Do you hear music? Our Kekarar, Jayaprakash is asking, do you hear music playing? Do your heartstrings start playing music? He is disappointed because Nath is clearly disappointed with the fact that Jyoti did not go through any electrifying moment, any she did not listen to any music, or she didn't go through the usual. I don't want to call it the usual, but he is mildly shocked, and and wonders why she didn't go through the phases where you fall in love and you feel good about it, and the entire you feel there are those moments of lightheadedness, all that, so Nath clearly expresses a disappointment. Imagine the father feeling that the daughter Jyoti did not go through, did not feel anything special when she was proposed marriage by Arun. Okay, so Jyoti did not feel anything special. Okay, and the father is expressing disappointment. Okay, so the father is expressing disappointment on the fact that Jyoti did not feel anything special. So if you read the play, that's described in the Jayaprakash asks this, then Nath feels disappointed, and so he wonders why Jyoti did not have any intense feelings or in her heart, and why there was no rainbow hued notes playing upon her nerves. See, falling in love is a special feeling. So Nath, the father asks, why you didn't go through all these emotions, all these feelings. Okay, so you didn't go through, there was no storm of hidden passion. This is what Nath asks, and Jyoti replies, no. In fact, Jyoti says, as we saw, almost a matter of fact thing, Arun, it seemed, Jyoti says, it seemed as though Arun had invited me for a cup of tea. Arun's proposal for marriage, Arun's proposal almost seemed like, he had called me for a cup of tea. Okay, looked like an invitation for a cup of tea. Okay, invitation for a cup of tea. Will you have a cup of tea with me? Something like that. So it was as casual and as quotidian as that, as an everyday event like that. I mean, you can, when you are among friends, you say, okay, let's go have chai, let's go have tea, something like that. It felt something like that. So that's what Jyoti says. Jyoti replies that, it felt that Arun had invited her for a cup of tea. And, well, so at this point, Seva says that, when Seva is very clear, let's be very clear, Seva is skeptical throughout. And she says that since you come from a particular family and from a particular culture, and you've been brought up in a particular manner, she's not sure whether Arun and Jyoti can get married. That's why she's skeptical throughout. And she says, look, Seva says, don't take this. She feels that this has been, this entire episode of Arun proposing and Jyoti saying yes is taken too lightly. I mean, there is no seriousness in that. Okay, so Jyoti says, Seva feels that you have been treating it too lightly, by which Seva means that there is no seriousness. But then Jyoti says, no, I was serious when I accepted it. So Jyoti says, no, I was serious. Okay. So Seva is still worried about for her daughter, and naturally so, because obviously, Jyoti is Seva's daughter and it's smaller. Okay. So Seva asks Jyoti, she continues talking to Jyoti and she says, look, do you think you have done a wise thing? And Jyoti replies, well, maybe sometimes I feel that, remember this proposal has taken place already. And Jyoti was waiting for Seva and Nath to be together so that she can tell them, she can announce her decision to get married to Arun. And she's not been able to get them together because both are busy in their own work. So here, Seva wonders if she asks Jyoti, look, do you think you have done a well thought out act? Okay, so Jyoti says, no, sometimes I think I'm a bit foolish, but so good. So Seva says, look, I think you've acted in a hasty manner. Nath counters this, okay, and he says that, look, I think Nath's so Seva's objection that Seva's objection is, look, you have taken things too lightly, and I think you have not thought this out. Nath objects to it. Nath says, no, you have not seen, both of us have not seen and in fact the three of them, Jayaprakash, Nath and Seva, have not seen Arun yet. So Nath does not want any conclusions drawn. Okay. Any opinions or any conclusions about Arun. No, nobody should want any conclusions or any judgments about Arun, okay, before they meet the boy. Any judgments? So don't jump to anybody to jump to any conclusions before they meet the boy. Okay. So this is Nath's stand, okay, and this has been his stand right from the beginning. Jump to conclusions before meeting Arun. Before meeting Arun. So Arun Athavale is the boy who proposed to Jyoti, and they have met in a study circle, in a socialist study circle, and Jyoti accepts the proposal for marriage that Arun extends, that Arun proposed. So Arun proposed and Jyoti accepted it. The proposal was for marriage. Okay. So, okay. So, okay. Now Jyoti says, okay, why don't we see Jyoti then says, no, it's better that you meet Arun. So Jyoti proposes a meeting with Arun, that her parents meet Arun. Okay. That her parents meet the boy, meet Arun. So, they sort of fix a date, but that we'll come to that later. Seva shows her displeasure. Okay. So, Seva would, okay. Then Seva says, okay, I'd like to see Arun, and reminds Jyoti that, that remember, when you think about marriage, okay, I'm willing to meet Arun, there's no problem. Seva is not happy with what is going on. And then she says, look, when you think about marriage, so Seva's advice is, marriage is about stability. Marriage is not something that you take lightly. So you have to think of stability and, very important, compatibility in lifestyles. Remember, unfortunately, I can say this now, in any divorce case, usually there will be this, when you file, whenever you look at a divorce case, there will be this word coming up again and again. Stability is okay. Financial stability is needed. Emotional stability is needed. You cannot keep on showing all your emotions to your partner, to your wife or to your husband, as the case may be. Stability and compatibility. Compatibility. What is compatibility? That is, they should get along well. Compatibility is, they should get along well. And usually in a divorce case, the phrase that will, the word that will be repeated will be, their relationship became incompatible. There was a lot of incompatibility. If you are interested, you can go and check on divorce cases, on divorce judgments on divorce cases, and this word would be repeated. So, and remember, not only is there should be stability and compatibility, it's a lifelong relationship. You commit yourself for your entire life, till death do us apart. as it is rightly said. So, okay, then Nath says, look, I think again, Nath is trying to assure Seva, and he says, look, I think you're overthinking. See, he says, look, lifestyles can be changed. And this all this thing about the ideal of stability, etc. That's not going to, okay. And immediately Seva says, all these things, don't overthink, and so Nath assures Seva that, look, since Arun is doing, I'll just rub this, okay, so that we have more space for, since Arun, this is Nath's, since Arun is doing his BA, he is sure that he will have a stable, financially stable career, and there won't be any problem there. And he also says, let us not forget that Jyoti is also, so Arun will have a stable income. Since Seva is worried about it, Nath says this. Nath assures her, and also he also makes this statement, look, let us not forget about Jyoti. Jyoti can be, she's not going to be a home-based woman, and she's not going to be a housewife. Okay, she's not going to be homebound, and in fact, the word uses homebound housewife. And well, she will also be earning. Remember, this is a very big thing in the 1970s India, because just then the women had started earning. And usually when some of, I mean, I'm not saying all women, but most of the women, when they got married, or if the husband got transferred, they would stop working. So that was the trend. But anyway, I'm talking about those who were born in the 1940s and 50s. The women started working. There was a fair percentage of women who started working. So he says, look, Jyoti can start earning. So Jyoti can earn, and she will contribute to the, Jyoti can earn, she will earn, and she will contribute to it. Seva is again irritated. So Seva is expressing her displeasure. She's again irritated by this. And and she wonders why Nath is in a hurry to marry Jyoti off. Okay. So, okay. Okay, then Nath suddenly remembers that his bus is about to leave. So Seva is not happy about this. And Nath says, okay, now when can we meet? So Nath is reminded of, suddenly he remembers that his bus is about to leave, that he has to catch a rickshaw and then go and catch the bus. So they talk about okay. So he says, he asks Jayaprakash to pick up his bag and look for a rickshaw, and okay, and he is in a hurry to catch the bus. So he asks, he's in a hurry to catch the bus, so he goes inside to get the bag and look for a rickshaw. He asks Jayaprakash to look for a rickshaw, and in that gap, okay, they are Seva and Jyoti are left alone, and Seva is very clear with Jyoti. She says, look, you have made a decision, and certain things cannot be changed overnight. Jyoti, you belong to, she tells her daughter, you belong to a particular culture. And here she's not saying, she's not talking, I mean, it's not a racist comment exactly. She says, look, you have been brought up in a particular manner, you have had a particular upbringing. How is it that you're going to manage with Arun, who comes from a totally different background? This is her question. So Jyoti says, no, I will not, I'll somehow, she assures her that she will manage. So Jyoti assures her that she will manage in spite of, so what Seva points out is that they come from two diametrically, two very different cultures, two very different upbringing, two very different backgrounds. Who? Jyoti and Arun. Jyoti has been brought up in a particular manner. Arun has, comes from from a different background. There's nothing wrong in that, but will there be compatibility? The question comes there. Okay? Nath says that he'll be busy for some time. Okay, for maybe a week. Seva says that she's also busy with certain arrangements, certain work, and then they decide on a particular date. When you read the play, you will be clear about it. And Nath and Jayaprakash leave. Okay, so again, Seva and Jyoti are alone. So Seva asks Jyoti, how close are you? So Nath leaves, busy for some time, and he leaves. They decide on a particular day. They say 13th. On 13th, what is going on? We live in Bombay. I would be back from Ahmednagar and all that. So please read the play for that. And then again, Seva and so Nath leaves. Seva and Jyoti are alone, and Seva says she gets a chance to tell Jyoti again that okay, okay. So she says Seva asks Jyoti. Seva again reminds Jyoti. She asks Jyoti as to how close that relationship is. Okay, how close are you? Actually, she gives an answer, but from the play we are very clear that Jyoti does not know much about Arun. When Arun comes to visit, she doesn't know much. I mean, she knows that he writes poetry, that they have been meeting for 2 months, that he's doing a BA. All that she knows. Over the 2 months that she has been meeting him, she knows a bit about his personal life, but not much. Okay, there is a lot that she gets to know only after certain other meetings and after her marriage with Arun. So Jyoti then feels that she has been a trouble to her mother. So how close are you? She says, "Oh, I have been a big trouble, I think, to you." No. Seva says no. Children can never be a burden on parents. Don't worry at all. And then Jyoti leaves. A telephone rings, and Seva picks up the receiver, and she's talking about. Seva gets a call. She gets a call. It's about her work, her social work, and it's about something that is going on in in the women's in the group that they have. Okay, so it is Kusum, and they talk about the Godrej order and the matter of Sundari Bai and all that, Sundar Bai and all that. So she gets a call. It's about her social work, and Act 1, Scene 1 ends there. So what did we see in Act 1, Scene 1? A quick revision before we. Okay, in Act 1, Scene 1, we saw that there is a family. Nath Devlalikar is, so this is Act 1, Scene 1 for you. A quick revision of, okay, just 2 minutes of your time, and then we'll close the video. So dear students, we saw that we have a family, Nath and Seva. Both are public figures. Nath is an MLA, Seva is a social worker, and they have 2 kids, Jayaprakash, the elder one, who's 23 years old, and Seva, who's 20 years old. Sorry, Jyoti, who's 20 years old. Very sorry. Jyoti, who's 20 years old. Jyoti tries to find time to talk to her parents. The parent, there is no occasion where there are very few occasions when the parents are together in the house. So she finds a time, an appropriate time when both of them are there, and she announces that she is getting married. Now, the people immediately, the reactions are diametrically opposite. Nath is supportive, Seva is not. She's skeptical, and actually then she says, no, I met this person called Arun who proposed marriage to me, and I accepted. Now, Seva tries her best to convince Jyoti to think about this, to think about the entire thing. I think you have taken it too lightheartedly. You take some 2 or 3 years to understand each other and all that. I mean, you can keep on meeting and understand each other and all that. But then Jyoti says that no, we have decided to get married. Nath is completely in support of Arun, so much so that Seva asks, even before meeting the boy, you have made a decision about the boy and about Arun, and you've started praising him. Seva is skeptical. Okay, Seva is skeptical throughout, and she says, so immediately the way they met is also discussed, and then she says, no, I observed you a lot, and so that is how things happen. So dear students, let us be very clear. Like a typical mother, Seva is skeptical throughout till Act 1, Scene 2 ends, and Act 1, Scene 1 ends, and before Act 1, Scene 2 begins, they make a decision that Nath leaves. They make a decision that to invite Arun to their house so that they can make an assessment of the boy. Okay, so we'll stop there. With this, we complete Act 1, Scene 1. Please go through the play where you will get the finer details. I've only given you a broad summary of the events that take place in
Act 1 in the play, in Act 1, Scene 1. In Act 1, Scene 2, Arun comes home. Okay. So it will be, it's evening and Arun comes home. So, and people look at, you can also read the political history of India in the 1960s and 70s to get a better understanding of what Nath is doing, and also to get a better understanding of the social work that Seva is doing. Okay. Thank you. See you in the next video. See you in the next video where we'll be discussing Act 1, Scene 2 of Kanyadaan by Vijay Tendulkar. Thank you.